You started your firm around 2020, right? So that was the time when COVID struck us. What was the key mantra over there?
So, we always call ourselves the COVID baby. Our mantra was only one thing: let's build for the customer. Let's build for the best customer experience out there.
Hi, Kulin.
Hey, hi, Mohit.
So, before we start the session, I'll set the context of the discussion first of all. So, as you might be aware, that today we'll be discussing about the need of group health insurance in early stage startups and SMBs, that is small and medium scale businesses. Correct. So, today we have Mr. Kulin, who is co-founder of Onsurity. Basically, before we start the discussion, I would like to know more about you, about your journey, right? So how it all started, or basically from where did this idea come into the place, right? So if you can shed some light on that, it'll be great.
Sure, awesome. So, Mohit, thanks first of all for having me on this. Excited to kind of tell you a little bit more about Onsurity, and why we are building Onsurity, for whom are we building Onsurity, and what is the reason why we saw the success that we've seen till date, right? So, just to introduce myself, I am Kulin. I am the co-founder at Onsurity. I have spent the last 14 years in the startup ecosystem, have worn multiple hats. I've been a VC. Then I did my own startup. This was acqui-hired by, Free Charge, Kulin Shah. And then, worked with him on growth partnerships. And then post the Snapdeal acquisition, worked on the entire launching the Free Charge wallet in the digital ecosystem, where my team and I, had a great experience of onboarding and acquiring close to about 1 lakh merchants in less than 12 months. Post that I took, joined an emerging insurtech company, and that's where I, that was my first step into the world of insurance, to be very honest. And I was given the mandate to kind of, build these embedded insurance products, right, using technology. And marrying insurance and technology, which is now obviously known as insurtech, right? And what has been known as embedded insurance is something that we had done at that particular organization, and that's where I also met my other co-founder Yogesh. And my journey with Onsurity obviously started in March of 2020, when Yogesh was kind of had started the company and was looking for a co-founder. So joined him as a co-founder in March of 2020, and then launched the Onsurity product in July of 2020. And yeah, since then we've come a long way. We have close to about 1,600 plus companies where we are their trusted healthcare partners and delivering of a very unique employee health benefits program for them. And we are serving almost 150,000 users today on our platform.
Correct.
So that's a small, introduction about myself. And why Onsurity, right? As a journey, I've always built products and partnerships for enterprises, right? And have been, in this B2B2C kind of a place, right? But I've always built products for enterprises. And then, Yogesh mentioned to me that, he had a few life experiences, where, and while there are, everyone builds for enterprises, right? No one really builds for a small SME. Right?
Correct.
Everyone says, what enterprise product hai, usme se do feature remove 2 features, right? And then, you make it like a, enterprise light model for an SME, right? But that was not the, thought process out here, right? Coming from a real life example from Yogesh's life. And then, looking back that, whenever I had done partnerships, there's always this whole thing that, no, I'll do it with large enterprises. So this thing was always there, that what happens for smaller companies, right? Who's solving the problem for smaller companies? And I think that's what kind of, got me excited on this journey, right? Saying that, hey, you know what? A small company wants to kind of give employee health benefits, right? Are there any employee health benefits today for small companies? No, because people are
No.
not interested in doing that, right? Either they do not have the right products, they don't have the technology to scale it, right? Or they basically have not built it to the expectations of the SMEs, right? And I think, no, the journey that we are undertaking today, where we have built it from scratch for the SMEs, right, is something that really got me excited about Onsurity and came in as a co-founder, because Yogesh has always been very good at on the manufacturing part of it. And I think my experience in creating large distribution channels, the ability to kind of take products to a large market and then kind of have a huge impact in terms of the number of users, right? So I think that is what got me excited, that can actually create a real impact for that missing middle of India, right? Where there are 63 million SMEs, right? You'll be surprised to know that these 63 million SMEs who kind of employ about 330 million people, only 5% of them have got health insurance in India, right?
Okay.
So if you go to see the bottom of the pyramid, right, is kind of under the Ayushman Bharat initiative of the government of India. If you look at the top 115 odd million people in India, right, they have either corporate health insurance or their own corporate health insurance or their own personal insurance, right? But there's no product, right, for this missing middle. And that's a large market to kind of create an impact in. And these 330 million people, when you combine their family and everyone, it's almost 655 million Indians that we're talking about today.
Correct. Quite an impressive overview or point of view from which you guys are operating, and also the numbers speak in itself, right? So you have onboarded a lot of companies and are creating impact since in a very short span of time, right? So that's quite impressive. So before we move further to the next question, I would like to introduce Loan in Touch to you. So basically, who is sponsor for this video? So I'll give you a brief about that. So Loan in Touch acts as a bridge between customer and a lending bank, right? So they have made home loan process very simple and fast. Primarily, they can complete your whole paperwork till the disbursement in less than 72 hours. So that is quite impressive. And for consumer, they do not charge anything additional, right? So they are acting as a bridge. So primarily they are operating in Pune, Aurangabad, and Nashik for now. So if you are an individual or a person who is seeking a home loan and are quite confused, okay, so which bank should I choose? What is the type of plan should I take, right? So Loan in Touch, they have their mobile application as well, where you can check on that, right? So that's a bit about that. Now, moving on to the very first question that I have for you. So you in brief explain what was the idea behind your startup, or what inspired to do so, basically, right? So it was somewhere your founder who had a vision that they want to cater to this middle segment, right, of the pyramid, and that is where it stems, the whole idea of the startup. Is that correct?
That's right.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. So basically, what are the industry dynamics, market size, when we compare this market to Indian scenario and compared to the world market? Where do you see this market, or what are the dynamics of the industry?
Right. I think very good question, to be honest, because if you go to see, right, India has a huge potential and a huge gap to kind of cover. Right. Today, if you go to look at the health expenses, right, the out-of-pocket expenses globally, it is only 18% are the out-of-pocket expenses when it comes to healthcare. In India, they are almost about 60 to 63%, right? That is the out-of-pocket expenses, right? And that means that the penetration of health insurance or any kind of an OPD insurance, right, is significantly lower, right? Our penetration is anywhere between 3 to 4% in India when it comes to health insurance, and we have a long way to go when you look at emerging markets, right? There's a huge there's a huge market out there, right? Especially on the health insurance side, right? from a global perspective, I think India needs to kind of start creating a lot of more customized, personalized products, right? And not around just health insurance, which is sometimes limited only to hospitalization events. And we need to also create a lot of interesting, and so that's where we are, right? From a market perspective, there's a huge gap. And plus, if you look at the numbers also, right, the insurance, health insurance space, right, and the healthcare space are bound to kind of grow at about 25 to 30%, right, year on year growth, right, up till about 2025, 2027. And that's the kind of growth that India will witness. And with this whole COVID, phenomenon, right, I think a lot of people have now woken up saying that, yes, one, that healthcare is very important, right? And secondly, even the health insurance part is going to become very important, right? So I think there's a huge impetus and a catalyst that COVID has been in terms of, even growing this awareness and the need for the products.
Correct. Very true. Very true. So basically now I wonder that, there are a lot of insurances available out there, right? So if you can give me a brief about them. So like, what are the types of insurances that are out there in the market? And if I am an individual and I want to choose one particular insurance which best suits my needs, then how should I go about it? And basically, how is it different from a group insurance that you are providing?
Right. So I'll just shed some light on what we're doing today. Right. We are not selling group health insurance standalone.
Okay.
Right. What Onsurity does today is that we realize that the group health insurance is just a financial product. It's not the solution to the health or the healthcare issue, right? And hence what we have created is a comprehensive healthcare benefits program, right? Which basically would help to kind of work on the preventive side of the health, right? And then also work towards reducing the out-of-pocket expenses, right? And obviously, we are bundling, group health insurance for our members, right? So we do not sell group health insurance because that is just a financial product, right? Now, from an individual perspective, right? Couple of things out here. I think there is no one product that fits everyone's needs, right? I think a lot of things that one needs to kind of consider before even going for a health insurance product, right? One is obviously the age at which you're buying this, right? Second is the lifestyle that you are living. Third is that, are there any kind of, chronic diseases that are, hereditary in the family, right? Keeping all of these factors in mind, and also, what is going to be the inflation rate going forward, right? And what are the kind of, medical treatments that are going to happen today, right? Keeping all of these things in mind, right? The best suggestion that someone can give today is that start young, right? Because the kind of premiums that you pay for your insurance product, right, are going to be much lesser when you start young, right? Second, do not treat health insurance as an investment tool, right? Treat it as a risk tool, right? So that whenever you go for if there's a financial, if there's a kind of a financial protection that you require, right, go for that kind of a health insurance, right? If you're at a very young age, sometimes having, deductibles is also okay, because that, you're not going to be prone to very chronic kind of diseases, right? As and when you kind of, start growing older, right? Obviously, the kind of lifestyle that we lead, right? There are very young Indians, right, who are now kind of getting diabetes and hypertension, right? So you need to kind of start planning accordingly, right? And take the right amount. And the most important part is the sum insured, right? That how much of the sum insured are you taking today, right? And how do you kind of also cover just not yourself, but also your family in this, right? So that's the way I think the thought process should be when buying health insurance, right? But what we, what we say, right, to our partners is that, don't look at only health insurance, because that does not solve your problem, right? In fact, a lot of people today in India, right, depend only on their company's insurance, and then say that, what, my company's insurance is what I will always depend upon. And they tend not to get their own, personal health insurance, right? And this is the problem that we have identified, and that's how we built Onsurity, right? Saying that even if you leave your company, you can take your healthcare membership along with you as a personal healthcare membership, right? Which means that you get all the benefits that your company is providing, which is generally not available today in the retail market. And also that because, when we work with companies, right, we work on a much larger mandate, right? And hence even our pricing is very much affordable, right? Given that we bundle all of these products together, we have seen that in terms of market alternatives, right, we are at least about 50% cheaper today, right? The reason I'm mentioning this is because of the kind of approach that we have taken to solve the healthcare issue and provide the right healthcare benefits to the people. So right from providing gym memberships, which takes care of your overall health, right? Providing regular webinars on how to improve your health, providing discounted health checkups, because that's the best way to kind of know that get early signals. I think you'll be surprised that people don't do a health checkup for almost as long as 2.5 years, right? And then suddenly someday you wake up and say, listen, let me do a health checkup. I remember this partner telling us that a 28-year-old team member had cholesterol issues, had high blood pressure issues, and was borderline diabetic, right? Because of the kind of lifestyle that he was living, right? And that is very surprising because at the age of 26, 28, you feel that nothing's going to happen to me, and you don't do this. But we always encourage our people to say that, listen, keep doing a health checkup every 6 months or at least once in a year, because that is a great way to find out what's wrong with the body, if at all anything.
Correct. That's true enough. So what I love the most about your product is that, once the employee leaves the organization, he or she can take their health insurance with them. And also the pricing part, where you mentioned that you are significantly cheaper because of bundling and the scale at which you operate, right? So that it in itself explains how you are unique from your competitors. So is there anything apart from this that you would like to add when we talk about your product or offerings that you have, and what makes you unique in the market?
No, absolutely. I think we are basically India's first a monthly subscription health benefits plan, right? See, today in India, even if you look at most of the corporates, right, unfortunately everyone has mistaken healthcare is equal to health insurance, whereas healthcare is not just health insurance, right? If you have a great health, I'm telling you, most of the times you might not even require health insurance, right? So I think we should now start focusing on health first, right? And hence what we created was a first of its kind, a comprehensive, right, health benefits program. And because we work with a segment like SMEs and startups in India, right, we realized that the need of the hour, right, and one of the biggest deterrent for them was the cash outflow, right? Now you think about a boutique company, right, which has about 20 employees, right? If they go to buy a normal standalone Mediclaim plan, right, they might land up spending close to about ₹1,00,000, which is to be paid upfront as an annual contract, right? This has been one of the biggest deterrent out there, right? And that's where Onsurity has created a monthly subscription package where we just not include health insurance for our members, but we have also started including free teleconsultations, discounted health checkups. We also have certain OPD benefits that we are providing to our members, right? And along with that, we have also kind of helped these SMEs to take care of their employees' families, right? And how does that happen? See, as an SME, I have a budget, right, which I cannot surpass, right? And as an employee, I'm made to choose that, what, I will take it for myself, but because I might not have enough salary, I might not take it for my, loved ones or my, family members. But because of our health, because of our monthly membership model, right, we have made this completely affordable. Because even today, what you would normally spend about 40,000-50,000 rupees for a set of parents, right? That is one, it is almost 60 to 70% cheaper at Onsurity, and it's on a monthly basis. So now I do not have to decide that, am I going to take it from my father or my mother or my father-in-law or my mother-in-law, right? And we are the first and only platform today which also provides healthcare benefits for your siblings also, right? So our inclusive approach and our monthly membership, right, is obviously have been kind of, very well accepted and appreciated, saying that, what, this was something that you were, actually looking for.
Right. So quite interesting product, I must say, right? So now, since you started your firm around 2020, right? So that was the time when COVID struck us, correct? So it will be very interesting to know that, how did you transition your firm, or how did you achieve the goals that were set out there, right? So basically the thing is, it's very interesting to know that you have grown month on month at a very rapid pace, while the industry was quite opposite, right, during that time. So if you can shed some light over there, what was the key mantra over there, basically?
Right. So, we always call ourselves the COVID baby, right? Because in March is when we kind of started forming the team, and we were about 12 or 15 odd people when we went into the lockdown. Today, we've built a team of close to about 150 people over the lockdowns, right? Multiple lockdowns now. I think our mantra was only one thing: let's build for the customer, let's build for the best customer experience out there, right? And I think that has kind of, something that, and I can share this with you later, all the testimonials that we've got from industry leaders, right? And these are people who have kind of looked at every possible option in the market, but decided to go with Onsurity, right? And only one thing resonated with them, that, you have delivered on your customer promise, you have delivered on your brand promise. There's only one mantra at Onsurity, that, hey, you know what? At the center of our DNA is always going to be customer experience, because we are in the business of building trust and delivering trust, right? That is the business that we are into, right? Everything else is just a byproduct of it, right? And if you go to see, obviously the kind of market that we are kind of, looking at, they are not very, used to, doing Zoom calls, or, not necessarily buying on a virtual meet like this, right? But the way we built our entire product, right? So what typically an HR or an finance person goes through, right, to just procure a single standalone group health insurance product, it takes almost 40 days, right? We created a platform which was self-serve, and which is again India's first ever self-serve platform, right? It is as easy as picking up a Netflix plan, right? So for example, you can just go on to onsurity.com, select your plan, give your monthly subscription, and using our digital dashboard, right? Add your employees and or your team members, and even delete them, right? So we think that empowering the SMEs and startups, right, helping them to putting the control back in their hands, right, and giving them the right experience is something that has worked out for us today. So we, in fact, knowing that there's a huge problem when it comes to claims, right, today, because you go into a hospital, you have no idea what you have to do out there, right? A lot of traditional players will push you from one company to another company, saying they will help you, that will help you,
right?
And it's a complete nightmare, right? And I think that's why we created our own claims concierge team, where our team members who are actually qualified doctors, and basically they are on our full-time team members, right? They basically help our users right from the time of getting the right approvals, getting them an admission done in 50% of the average industry turnaround time, and getting their discharge done. And not only that, right, we also help them when it comes to the claims reimbursement also of their health insurance. One of the things that I can definitely quote you is that a leading startup's product manager, right, put up a testimonial saying that this is the first time that I've seen a health benefits company running behind me to get me my money instead of me doing the other way around. And I think that was very heartening to see that, how we have created a culture of customer centricity, how we've created a culture of saying that, what we promise is what we have to deliver. And I think a record of getting 1,600 companies in less than about, 14 months, stands a testimonial for us, at least, that, what we set out to do, right? We have not even scratched the surface, but it's been a heartwarming response for us, and just motivates and inspires us to just go further and further, and raise our benchmarks of what we're doing today.
Correct. So that brings me to my last question for you. That since you have a phenomenal growth in past couple of months, so where do you see yourself in next 3 years?
Right. So I think one of the things that we want to do is that we want to kind of keep growing on three aspects, right? Obviously, business is one. The other one is technology, right? And the third one is on the experience piece, right? So on the business piece, yes, we want to reach out to 1 million SMEs and want to impact 10 million lives, right? Forward. But those are business metrics. I think what is most important is, on the technology piece, that we want to keep creating a great technology layer which helps us to distribute this product, right? And also at the same time creates so much of ease for the customer that we almost make, the entire experience of purchase and management almost invisible, right? So for example, today, as we speak, we are integrated with multiple HRMS platforms, which has basically reduced about 40% of the HR's time to manage a product or a program like this, right? So that is the first thing that we have achieved today. Similarly, we want to create a great platform to start creating a preventive healthcare journey for our members, where we keep giving them feedback on their health score and help them to become healthier. And I think that's becoming one of our biggest motivations, is that how do we create a healthier workforce, a happier workforce, right? And keep creating products which reduces the out of pocket expenses for our users, right? And when it comes to experience, I think we have only one thing, that keep increasing the customer satisfaction level. Today, our claims NPS is close to about 91, and I know that this could be a number that is unheard of, but yes, that is the number that we have internally, and we want to make sure that we only increase it from here, and we make sure that when a person is really troubled, Onsurity reduces that trouble, and like other companies, does not increase it.
Correct. Very, very, very happy to hear that the work that you are doing, and the kind of impact that you are creating. So yeah, I would like to thank you for your time, Kulin. Today it was a lovely discussion with you. Pleasure to have you on board with Startup Story. And I would like to also thank Lone in Touch for sponsoring this video. So yeah, thanks a lot. All right.
Thanks, Mohit, and thanks Startup Story for having me.